Hey everyone, I appreciate the support on the last video. Today I'm going to be making another video for you guys. I'm going to be going over my backpack and what I take on longer day hikes. And I'm also going to be going over the 10 essentials, which a lot of people don't really know about too well. So I'm going to be going over that. Starting off, I'm going to go over the navigation that I use. So I typically bring with me on all of my hikes a Garmin InReach Mini. I feel that it's super beneficial, very important to have this. You can send an SOS message out to first responders, search and rescue. You can also message friends and family off of this device without service using satellites in the sky. So that's typically what I bring. And I also bring my phone. I don't typically bring a compass or any other forms of navigation. I do bring a physical map with me if I have one handy for the area that I'm going to be hiking. But I do download the GPS files on an app called Gaia GPS. I use that. I also use apps such as FatMap, and these are probably the two apps that I use the most to kind of download my route beforehand and make sure that I'm going to be staying on the right track when I'm out there hiking. Next off, I like to make sure that I have illumination or a light with me. This is a black diamond headlamp. It's about 500 lumens, so it gets pretty bright. It also has different settings. I can put it in a red mode to preserve my natural night vision at night. There's also other modes on there, I'm pretty sure. But I like to keep this in the side pocket because a lot of the times I do start my hikes out pretty early in the morning before the sun comes up. So it's just handy to have this on you and easily accessible. And it's also, it's good to have it just in case something arises or you need to look inside your pack in the dark or something like that. So you typically bring that. Next, we will be going over sun protection. So, this little guy right here, Chapstick, goes so far out in the backcountry. Make sure it's SPF. This is SPF 15. Because I feel like your lips are the first thing to get sunburnt and chapped. Beforehand, I also typically throw on some sunscreen, or if I'm out there for multiple days, I'll bring sunscreen with me in a smaller container such as this. But most importantly, I feel that wearing a sun protective ultraviolet shirt is probably the best form of sun protection that you can do. Something with a hood to protect the back of your neck, protect your ears, and keep you away from the sun. I typically also bring sunglasses with me to protect my eyes and a hat to kind of, make it more comfortable out there so the sun's not just constantly beaming down on my face. That's that for sun protection. Next, we're gonna go into insulation. So this can be a variety of things. It can be a fleece mid-layer depending on the season that you're hiking in. I typically bring out a puffer jacket with me on most of my hikes, just because it's very packable. This is the Mountain Hardware Ghost Whisperer. I've had it for multiple years now. It's been on countless backcountry trips with me, and it's held up phenomenally. It's very warm, and it's just a good safety net. It's nice to have it in your pack. You might not have to use it, but it's nice to have. And then with that, I also bring some rain protection, depending on what the weather's looking like. And depending on where you're hiking, the weather can change up very fast, especially if you're in the southwest region. In Colorado, the weather is it fluctuates very frequently, and especially when you're at elevation, it can turn on you pretty quick. So making sure that you have some rain gear on you is very important as well. That also just serves as another layer of insulation and protects you from the elements. Next, we're going to dive into kind of what I use to filter water and how I carry water. So I use the Sawyer Squeeze here. It's connected to a 32-ounce bag, and I feel that this is the ideal way to filter water. I know there are other methods out there. I've never tried the Katadyn Be-Free, but that is something that is pretty comparable to the Sawyer Squeeze, I imagine. But the Sawyer Squeeze filters water very fast, so you're not spending a whole lot of time at the river or wherever you're gathering your water. And then I also tend to carry a water bladder with me. I believe this is probably about 1.5 liters or 2 liter, probably 2 liter water bladder, I think. And I bring this with me, or I'll bring 1.5 liter water bottles and throw them on the side carriers of my backpack. So yeah, that's kind of what I bring with that. And now I'm going to be diving into the 10 essentials here. So I usually carry everything in this bag here. Make sure it's all in one spot, so I make sure I have it all every time I go out. And I do bring this with me every time I go out on a hike. It's very packable, super lightweight, and it's a very good comfort measure and safety net to make sure that I have everything that I might need when I'm out there. So to start off, going back to the water situation, I also do bring some emergency iodine tablets or Aquamura tablets here, just in case my water filter decides to go out on me and not really work too well. We have this in a last-ditch effort to filter and purify water. I feel that this is very important to have because the last thing you want is to be stranded out there in the backcountry without a way to filter water. And then back to Illumination, I do bring an extra headlamp with me in my bag. I don't really touch this, I leave it be, and that's just in case my primary headlamp goes out or I'm unable to use it. And then if I'm not bringing this headlamp, I'll bring backup batteries, either for, I'll bring them for my other headlamp. So that's that for Illumination, just going back to that. So next, I'm gonna go over the first aid. I feel that this is a pretty key component when you are packing a backpack. In here, I have a lot of stuff, a lot of goodies. I'll just kind of talk about it. I'm not gonna open it up or really dive into it too deep. But I got some tape, I have Coban to kind of secure extremities if you twist your ankle. I have an ACE bandage in here. I have some trauma shears to cut the bandages or to cut your clothing if you have to if you have to get to an extremity that's either broken or whatever, and you're not able to take your pants off. I have some burn cream in here, some bacitracin ointment for small cuts. I have some antiseptic towelettes in here. And then I also do carry with me some pharmaceuticals. So in here, this is a small little carry case for medications. And in here I have a lot of analgesics, so your pain medications to kind of help if you do twist something or you're having a headache or you're having some altitude sickness, that can kind of calm down the pain response. I also do bring some gas relief because a lot of the times when you're out there for multiple days eating your backcountry dehydrated meals, your stomach can start to tumble and start to rumble and not feel too good, so that's always handy to have on you. And then I do bring some Sudafed and for like nasal decongestion and Benadryl, which are antihistamines, to help decrease a histamine response if you are to get stung by a bee or have an allergic response to something. So that's kind of it for my first aid kit. Now I'm going to be going into my my repair kit, sorry. So this is my repair kit. In here, I like to carry some super glue just in case, worst case scenario, it's to help close a laceration that won't stop bleeding. But that's worst case scenario, you don't really want to be doing that. That's why we carry what we need in our first aid kit. Then I have some jute twine here or some cordage to kind of help maybe repair some stuff if your pack breaks, as well as zip ties. I also have with me some tenacious tape if you get a rip in your waterproof gear or you get a rip in something that you're wearing, as well as duct tape. So that's kind of what my repair kit consists of, as well as making sure that I always have a small multi-tool with me, something that has a blade to it, some pliers, then some other kind of simple tools on there. And this is just, I keep this on my side pocket, and it's nice to have, a lot of the times you're using it to open up your food that you're bringing out with you or do simple tasks like that. Next, we're gonna go into our fire. So here, I like to carry two forms of fire with me. I like to carry a traditional lighter that runs off butane or whatever fuel source you have. And then I do carry some waterproof matches with me. And these are sealed up, and I don't typically use these. I bring an additional lighter if I know that I'm going to be needing to start a fire, and I like to keep these isolated in this bag just for emergencies. So that's that for fuel sources. And to get a fire going, I bring some additional stuff here. So what I like to do is whenever my dryer stops, I take out the lint and I have a little bag of lint that I keep near my dryer. And I take this out camping or backpacking with me all the time. It's amazing for a way to get a fire started. I also carry some more jute twine with me that I can kind of pull apart and make a little bird's nest to start a fire. And then I just keep a simple candle in there to have a sustained flame. And then lastly here, I have a shelter. So this is a Soul shelter. I've never had to use it. It's a survival outdoor shelter. It's pretty much just a little bivvy sack that you can crawl into. It's not going to be the most comfortable night, but it'll keep you alive. And I think that's the most important thing when you're out there. This thing will keep your core temperature up, prevent hypothermia, and keep you alive until you can get someone out there using your Garmin InReach or what other device you have with you. So yeah, that's kind of it. That's what I got going on. And then, last thing, forgot to talk about this, nutrition. This plays a big part when you're out backpacking. I think it's very important to have stuff with you. So I typically bring some gels. I like to bring honey. I like to bring Cliff Bars. Just simple stuff that you can snack on while you're out there hiking. One of my go-tos is dried fruits. So right here we have some dried apricots. That's what I enjoy. It's what I like. Everyone has their preferences, but this is easy for me. It's easy to get down while you're walking or while you're hiking. So yeah, that's kind of what I got going on. I like to carry bear spray too, depending on where I'm at. If I'm in a region where I know that there's a lot of animal activity, specifically bears or mountain lions, I will carry this out there. Never had to use it. It's always just precautionary, and I hope I never have to use it. And a lot of the times, if you're in an area where it's just black bears, they're pretty docile. They're more scared of you than you should be of them. I think it's just important to make sure when you're out there hiking by yourself that you're making noise, you're being proactive, and making sure not to sneak up on any animals that might be out there kind of minding their own business or doing their thing. But yeah, that's kind of what I got going on. That's my 10 essentials and what I carry in my backpack. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop some comments. I appreciate the support. Thank you.